Alright, hello everybody, this is Tobias from XMMS2. I'm going to show you the same slides as I showed on FOSDEM 08 here just a couple of days ago. And this presentation covers a short introduction of XMMS2, and it will be very short on words, so that's why the slides doesn't really make sense without the audio. And yeah, so let's start. As you all know, this is our history, the XMMS1 player. You all probably use this, still using it, or at some point fought with it to try to get it to play music for you. It's a very well used client or XMS player for playing back MP3 files. I think everybody loved it because it was so simple to use and very different from other types of X applications at the time it was released. But it has a couple of flaws and has been more or less marginalized by history because of the switch from GTK1 to GTK2. The original XMS developers did decide to not port it to GTK2 because of all the plugins actually called directly GTK calls. So this is a good reason to might look at alternatives. There are a lot of forks of XMMS1 and you can use them if you still like that type of player. What we did when we wanted to change this was like look at the code base and see what we could reuse for a next generation player. And we came to the same conclusion as the BMP developers. The XMMS1 code is not really very well written. It has a lot of problems, it's poorly documented, and a lot of things were unfixable in the way that it was designed. So the BMP developers said the following statement, and you can read it yourself. And as a newsflash to any BMP developer that is actually looking at this presentation, we do know about this problem and we are trying to fix it with XMMS2. We were looking at the XMMS1 code base and realized we have to rewrite it from scratch because the flaws were so many, so it would be very hard for us to actually do something about it. So we say goodbye to XMMS like many of the distributions has done today, both Gentoo and Slackware, and I guess that within a decennium even Debian will drop it from their distribution. For you that didn't know it, we started XMMS2 as early as 2003. As you can see in this graph, there has been a huge development during the years, and even though it's flattening out in the end of January, we like to believe that this is more because of code maturity instead of anything else. When we looked at what we would implement in a new player like XMMS2, we started our own buzzword bingo for music players, things like MediaLib, format support, smart playlist, all of those things. We need to have them in a player. So we think that we have implemented all of these pretty well. And if you look at the competition, we have a lot of competition today because music players seems to be a very interesting area to spend your development time in. And we have other players like Amarok, like BMPX, like Rhythmbox, someone even using a singing bird as a player. And this is the interface for XMMS2. And I see that all of you looking at this presentation just went like the cat, what the fuck. You guys been working since 2003 and that's the only thing you can show? Well, the truth is that XMMS2, while it's modeled after to be a modern player, it's very different from what we've seen in other players today. XMMS2 could be best described as a music framework instead of a music player. We have learned some very valuable lessons from XMMS1, like we shouldn't be hard depending on a GUI toolkit. So we have tried to implement a split between what's hard to do, things like decoding, outputting, gathering media info, are all based in a server. So you have a small daemon running in the background actually doing all the boring stuff for you, while the front end, the sexy UI that you are working with, is a client connecting to the server and sending comments and receiving update status. The API has binding for most animals and stones and coffee that you can think about. So you can choose to write your client in whatever language you want. As you see here, this is a small Ruby client that does some of the most common things like play, pause, list, add, and so on. And since I don't know Ruby, I have actually no idea what this actually does, except the small strings that I actually can read from it. The point of this is that the API is very, very easy to use. You can write a full working client on just a few lines, actually 23 lines like this one. And the powerful API and the split for server and client has made us the choice of choosing what toolkit you want to do, what to write your clients in. You can write it with the gnomes or with the trolls or whatever you like. And while this is a very good thing, it also led to a problem, which is that we don't really have one client that we can say this is the XMMS2 client. We have a lot of different clients that are all equally XMMS2. Actually, everything is a client. So when we're looking at integrating service support, web service support like Last.fm, we will do that as a client. When we're looking at Graal support, this is actually not an XMMS2 Graal client because we don't have one, but I'm just saying we can do this, and it would be a client. Album art retriever will also be a client, and iPod synchronization will also be a client. They are within the API. You can actually extend the API for other clients. So you can write clients that running on the server and creating new comments in the IPC. And as I said on a previous slide, we have a problem with we don't have a really kick-ass client. We only have a really, really good CLI today. As you see, you can do things like list a playlist. You can search for the media lib for artists. You can add a certain ID to the playlist and play and stop and so on. And this is where I hear all of you looking at presentation saying what the fuck again. And I must say that we actually do have some graphical clients. We have Qt clients, we have GTK clients, we have big clients, we have small clients, we have huge clients, and we also have some kind of fun clients like a Java client controlling the XMS over Bluetooth. But I think what it all boils down to is that to get the XMMS2 project into the next level where people are actually aware of this and helps out building really cool clients, we need your help. And we are not afraid to ask for help because we think that we have made a really interesting framework with some really interesting features. But we are not really still there when it comes to the front end bit. So everybody who's a GUI designer and so thinks that this sounds like a really good prospect, please contact us. You see our webpage down, and you can also join XMMS2 on the Freenode channel. And that's everything I wanted to say, and this concludes the presentation for XMMS2. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you very much.